Covering news where you live. This is 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here today for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. A Bentonville man convicted after leading people on hikes without a permit near the Buffalo National River, including one that resulted in the death of a hiker. A federal judge found Jeffrey Johnson guilty of 2 charges related to soliciting business in the national park without a permit. Sentencing in the case is set for March. The charges were filed after a Brad Thomas fell to his death during a hike Johnson was leading in Newton County. The victim fell after venturing off from the group of hikers. The National Park Services states that a permit is required as well as proof of insurance in order to conduct business at a national park. And Apple is now being sued over its AirTag devices. It's a story we've been following this year after women in Arkansas discovered AirTags placed on their cars without permission. 2 women are suing the company because they say the devices made it easier for stalkers to track them down. They called the AirTag, quote, the weapon of choice of stalkers and abusers. And they say it has been linked to murders of women this year in Ohio and Indianapolis. The women claim Apple negligently failed to prevent this kind of tracking. Despite warnings from domestic violence advocates last year, they're seeking damages after becoming victims of stalking. Apple has yet to comment on this lawsuit. Well, before we get to other news of the day, let's get a check of that weather. It is a rainy week. Meteorologist Zach Scott joining us now. Hey, Zach.
Yeah, we've seen some widespread rain overnight through your Thursday morning. As we go deeper through your Thursday morning, by mid-morning, the brunt of the activity is just off towards the east of us. Still, we're tracking some patchy drizzle and a few spotty shower chances through mid-morning. But as we go deeper through the day, we're overall going to be drying out. Now, we'll still linger with about a 10% chance, so we're not anticipating widespread rainfall, but a patchy drizzle, spotty sprinkle or 2 can't be ruled out as we go through the day. But rain chances, again, drastically drop off to 10% through the day. We stay mostly cloudy, a few breaks of sunshine try to mix in. Another quick moving little wave tries to work in, especially north of I-40 into northwest Arkansas. By late evening into the overnight hours, we'll go up to a 20% chance of some spotty showers. Again, that'll be late evening into the overnight hours. Highs for your Thursday in the 60s. We started out in the 50s. And then again, we'll be a little bit cooler going into Friday. We'll get temperatures into the 40s for northwest Arkansas, some 40s and lower 50s in the River Valley. Next 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a lot of 50s and 60s for us, so no big cool downs just yet. We could see some cooler weather by this time next week, late next week. But overall, we're looking for a break, drying out, mix of sun and clouds Friday. Now, by Friday evening, we could see some showers working in from Oklahoma. Showers likely overnight, lingering into the start of the day on Saturday. By Saturday afternoon, northwest Arkansas should be drier. Bentonville, we're watching you for that parade. The River Valley could see a few lingering showers, maybe some sprinkles into the early afternoon hours. For drier, still cloudy though on Sunday. Here's a quick look for you at some of those showers coming in. The next round comes in late Friday. By Friday evening, we'll have the chance to start to see some scattered showers moving in. Scattered showers will become likely as we go through the overnight hours. No severe weather expected, but we could have some rumbles of thunder and some heavier downpours mix in. And then showers will decrease from northwest to southeast as we go through the morning into the early afternoon hours on Saturday. Joe?
All right. Thanks so much, Zach. Well, the U.S. Senate passing a bill restricting public contact and private ownership of big cats. The Big Cat Public Safety Act originally passed the House in July and is now headed to the president's desk. The bill, co-sponsored by Congressman Steve Womack, prohibits keeping big cats as pets and bans the public contact with the species. Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge in Eureka Springs has been helping with this bill for 10 years. In their 30 years of rescuing big cats, sanctuary staff tell us the big cat crisis has gotten much worse and that the passing of this bill has been a long time coming.
Over the years, it's gotten bigger and bigger. A lot of our rescues, sometimes we went from getting a call from a private owner until more recently, we've been involved in a lot of Department of Justice federal cases where animals are being seized from some of these horrible roadside zoos.
Well, some owners will be allowed to keep their current big cats. They'd have to, though, register with U.S. Fish and Wildlife and care for the cats for the rest of their natural life. And according to the Retail Me Not Holiday survey, 70% of Americans are taking inflation into consideration this holiday season. Half of shoppers are expected to buy fewer gifts this year. 5 News reporter Rachel Williams caught up with local businesses and families to find out how they're handling these higher prices.
Despite rising inflation, economists say people are spending more this year.
Overall, consumers have been out and about in the economy in 2022 more than they have been in 2021, which was partially why you see higher levels of inflation in 2022 than you had in 2021. We have a lot more people participating in the economy.
He adds that inflation is slowing down some.
The data seems to indicate that prices have been declining since their highs this summer and are headed on a downward trajectory.
A Bentonville boutique says it's also seeing the trend of increased spending, especially this time of year despite inflation.
I would say most people haven't been affected around here by the inflation and the changes in prices. I haven't seen like sales slow down or anything. If anything, I feel like they've really gone up.
That's not the case for a bookstore in downtown Rogers. The owner relies heavily on tourists to shop at her store, but is asking for more local support.
The neat thing that small business can offer is an experience. You don't get an experience shopping online. You get an experience when you walk through the door of a small business and you can talk to somebody face to face. They can recommend something exciting for you, and you can also sit and enjoy the atmosphere.
Some families are resorting to an alternative yet meaningful options to save money this holiday season.
For gift giving, we get a jar basically, and everybody writes their name down 3 times and we put it in a jar. And then we pass the jar around and everybody picks out 3 names, and the 3 names that you pick, those are who you buy a gift for.
As a growing family, their gift-giving hack is a tradition they started during the pandemic and plan to continue it throughout the years.
For me, I would say overall we probably cut by 50% to where you're saving money by about 50%.
Yeah. And even their furry family member's name goes into the hat.
Charlie just loves treats. Mm-hmm. And if Charlie has treats, he is A-okay. And Charlie gets one little chew toy and he is fine.
Covering news where you live, Rachel Williams, 5 News.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here today for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Jo Ellison. Catch up with us again tomorrow right here for more.